YB stays on your neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just saw there on your screen, Gervonta Tank, aka Gervonta Mike Tyson Davis. Absolutely, this guy is dangerous. Gervonta is dangerous. His biggest problem at the moment is his dodgy ass promotional team. I understand he's young, but what a talent. I really want to see him in his prime days fighting some of these top guys. Why not? Take some risk. Anyway, let's break down the knockout. Very short and sharp power punches from Gervonta Davis. Mike Tyson-like. Truly Mike Tyson-like. He doesn't really have that. He doesn't have a peekaboo style, but when he gets them hooks going, he's got power in both hands. And you'll notice, Tank Davis, he has a very rare style. If you watch this fight in particular, he kind of just walks forward. Very unconventional. Most fighters are taught, hold your stance, either orthodox or southpaw, and you maintain it. Either you step forward or you step back. But Gervonta Davis kind of just walks. He's fluid with it. And what that means is he switches from southpaw to orthodox as he takes each step. He literally walks. In boxing, no one, I've never seen no one walk before. And it looks, when he's on the offense, it's good because he can switch angles. Because you're changing from southpaw, or because every step you take, you're changing from southpaw to orthodox. You're getting the angles on your opponent because your left hook's coming, then your right hook's coming, and you're mixing it up. However, whilst it worked on this stoppage, opening up his opponent, Ricardo Nunez, you will notice throughout this fight, because he was just walking forwards, he was getting caught off balance. When you walk forwards, there's a period of time when your feet are completely squared up. As you know, that's why in boxing you're not taught to walk, you're taught to kind of take small steps, half steps, forward and back, and whilst maintaining like your stance, with your lead foot in front of your back foot, with the distance maintained, probably 2 or 3 feet maintained between your feet. Because, as I was saying, Gervonta gets caught squared up several times by this caliber of opponent. Now, it doesn't matter, this guy didn't have great power, but what happens when you get to the top echelons, and people can really pick up and can pick up and take advantage of your feet being squared up. And especially when you're fighting someone like Lomachenko who has good footwork, that can really expose these kind of holes. Now maybe Gervonta was fighting like this and kind of just walking forward, because I've seen fighters, or I rarely see fighters just walk forward, but when I do see them just walk forward, it's normally because they have no respect for their opponent. They're chilled, they just kind of, do you know what I mean? They're completely relaxed, and he's just walking. He's got not a care in the world. All he cares about, when you see fighters literally walking forward, that's because they've got no respect for their opponent. They're just marching forward, no problems at all. Normally, as I was saying in boxing, people take half steps forward, half steps back. The reason you do that is because you're being cautious. You don't want to just walk into something. But this guy, Gervonta, had no respect for him and was just walking all over the place. But I hope he doesn't get into bad habits. And as I was saying, whilst walking onto your opponent worked quite nicely in getting the angles off with the left hook and the right hook and whatnot, I'm not so sure it's something you should be doing all the time. But either way, as I was saying, great power in both hands. Truly Mike Tyson almost. I'm trying to think, what fighters do we know these days who have power in both of their hands like that? I haven't seen it. He's got true pound for pound power, this guy has. And he doesn't use the big right hand either. Mike Tyson, he had a great right hand, but he was known for his hooks and his uppercuts. He reminds me of a Mike Tyson for his power in his hands and his hooks and his uppercuts. Not because of the head movement or nothing. I do think I do think Gervonta Davis could add, I think all fighters, to be fair, could add a peekaboo element. It's a great skill to have, and I think it's quite sad, but it's a lost art these days. What fighters do we know have a peekaboo style? And the reason I feel we don't see a lot of fighters using that style these days is because it's tiring. You have to be very fit to pull it off. You have to really train it. And fighters these days are lazy. Instead of learning the peekaboo style, they want to just sit back and put their hands up and get pummeled. As an example, Chisora, he should have been a peekaboo fighter, but and to be fair, at the start of his career, he started off like that, but he got older, he got lazy. He started just becoming straight up and down and being a heavy bag. But anyway, as I was saying also, Gervonta needs to step it up. This guy's a generation, in my opinion, a generational talent, true power. And the reason I don't really watch these small fighters is because they don't normally have much knockouts and it's quite boring. But this guy, he brings the excitement back to the division. But who knows? Who knows what is? All of these knockouts seem great now, but he's not proved. In fact, on that note, I shouldn't really even call him a Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson proved he had power at the top levels. But even then, to be fair, at the ultra high levels, Mike Tyson didn't really show power there. At the ultra high levels, against the all-time greats, he didn't show power. So Gervonta Davis is showing power at the C and D level, guys. I want to see that power versus Tevin Farmer. I want to see that power versus Lomachenko. And what frustrates me is we know these guys want that fight. And I've got a feeling Floyd's going to do what he always does. Floyd fought Shane Mosley when he was 38 years old. Floyd fought De La Hoya when he was 50 years old. Floyd fought everyone that was decent when they were too old. It's not good. And I know Floyd made a lot of money doing that, but I guess that's what it's about anyway, making money, because it's not about being the best anymore. Fighters, like when Ali fought Liston, I think it was like 30, I'm not sure how old he was, I think it was 32 maybe, but he wasn't 50 years old, that's for sure, he weren't 50. People should want to fight. Lomachenko's like what? I'm not even sure how old he is, 34, 35, but fight him now. You've already seen them holes, but you don't want to fight Lomachenko when he's been fully exposed. It won't be the same. Look at the Linares fight. He got put down. Linares was shot. Now's the perfect time to fight Lomachenko. Go and take that. I'd back him. I'd back Tank Davis to beat him as well. I'd back him to beat Tevin Farmer, because Farmer doesn't have enough power. I think Tank would just clip him with something and that would be that. But who knows? Once again, it's not about winning or losing. It's about being in great fights. The all-time great fighters have shown making big money, being known as a great, isn't about winning every fight. It's about being in the best fights at the best time. But let's see where he goes from here. I'd like to see Gervonta Davis develop, as I was saying, the peekaboo style a bit more, but also I'd like to see him develop the Floyd Mayweather slickness. He does have some slickness, but I don't think he has the defensive capabilities of a Floyd Mayweather. Now, I guess you could also argue maybe he shouldn't learn them. Maybe that will turn him into a less exciting fighter. Maybe the fact he isn't as defensively astute as Floyd Mayweather means he keeps that offensiveness about him. So maybe I shouldn't really say that. But I believe, well, from a conceptual point of view, I think a fighter should have everything. They should have the Floyd Mayweather defense in the bag if they need it. They should have the Mike Tyson offense for all other occasions. Does that make sense? I know life isn't a computer game, so it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, we should have that, we should have this. But he's 25. He's potentially got another 10, 15 years in the game. And you've got the people like Floyd Mayweather around you who can give you them skills. I would like to see him have that slickness in the bag a bit more, because he was getting hit by this guy. And actually, let me spend the last part of this video bigging up his opponent, Ricardo Nunez. Many people who fight Tank Davis, they go in there to be like hunted. This guy Nunez, arguably he was winning the fight, if I'm honest. I believe he won the first 2 rounds, certainly the second round, until he got knocked out, of course, but he was winning it, sticking it on Tank. In fact, a few times, he pushed Tank to the rope, stuck him in the corner, got stuck in. Unfortunately, Nunez got caught with his chin in the air, which was a shame, because if he'd had his chin a bit lower, I don't think he'd have been caught with that shot. But either way, this guy can actually leave with his hands raised in the air, or at least feeling good about himself, because Tank's a pound for pound punching fighter. I'm trying to think, outside of probably Wilder, I hate to rate Wilder's power, but it's alright. I mean, I'd rank... the problem with Tank is he hasn't fought anyone yet to give him that great power. The fact that... Yeah, I can't give Wilder either. Who's Wilder? Who's Wilder really proven power against? Ortiz is an unknown quantity. Fury's been put down already, so really you can't even rate Wilder, but... Wilder's put down at least a certain calibre of fighter, whereas Gervonta hasn't even fought him yet. That said, Wilder's 35 to be fair, Gervonta's only 25. So let's see where he goes from here, but as I was saying, that Nunez cat, very strong. And whilst we rate Gervonta's power, Look at this Nunez cat. The Nunez cat stayed on his feet, to his credit. Despite being hit with clean hooks and uppercuts from Gervonta, watch the knockout. He stayed on his feet, which is amazing. Truly amazing. Taking big hooks, clean on the chin. He stood on his feet. This dude is a warrior, Nunez. I didn't know the guy before, but fair play to him. Stayed on his feet, finished the fight on his feet, and put it on Gervonta. Put it on one of the pound-for-pound punches today. Great showing. A true fighting man. That there's a fighting man. A true warrior. After the fight, he was upset, but be proud in yourself, brother, because that's what people want to see. You stood up, took your licks, and that was that. No quitting, no going in there and being scared. You marched forward, and you were winning the fight, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, people. Gervonta Davis, if I could invest in one fighter now, I'd definitely buy a few shares in Gervonta. I think he's got that. He's got the power, man. Very unusual. He's got the power and the attitude, that nasty attitude in him. You can see it in him. But also, he's got the IQ. He does like to slip and slide. I'd just like to see him maintain his form and maintain his feet a bit more. He's that crossing over business will get him caught out. And actually, before I go, I will actually note this. I've just watched the footage back, and I've got to say, Gervonta's head movement's improved. You'll see it on your screen now, but very slick. You see him here with a double, like in the shoulder roll. He's got that kind of Floyd Mayweather-esque. Floyd Mayweather always does it. He does his he'll roll the shoulder, then bend at the hips. And Gervonta's doing it very fluid, very fast. Looks good. This is the kind of defense, in my opinion, he's been working with Floyd. I don't remember him doing that before. And he's also doing it before. I've seen Gervonta Davis move his head before, but he does it with his hands low. Now, he's doing it whilst in the shoulder roll position and then moving your head. From when you get in the shoulder roll position and then you move your head, you're kind of protecting yourself. Too many fighters, they move their head with their hands down, but that's all well and good. It is easier to do that, but you still get caught. Does that make sense? There's still a chance of getting caught, where if you put your body in the shoulder roll position and then move your head, you're still protecting yourself and avoiding shots and able to pick counters off that. So yeah, good improvements from Gervonta. He's only 25. I feel he's probably got another for a little guy. They normally get into their peak around 30 or maybe just before. So he's got over 5 years of improvement. Great stuff, and let's see what happens from here.